Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mic Check. This episode, we are talking about Pacific Rim 2, the sequel to the 2013 film Pacific Rim, which I really enjoyed and only saw recently.
But this time it's an Uprising.
It's true. This time, it's not even called Pacific Rim 2. It's called Pacific Rim Uprising.
No, going back to the first film, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I can't really say I thought it was a great film. It was fine. Way better than Transformers, if that's saying anything.
It surprised me. I feel like that's why I give it like a very average full price rating, is because I think that because you have Guillermo del Toro, you're able to take a genre that people generally look at and think of as like, oh, it's that kind of movie, and del Toro was able to do a lot with it. This movie, on the other hand, was that, oh, it's that kind of movie. However, I will say that it does have its merits. I think so more than you do, but let's just
You just want to start with the positives?
Let's just
I am an optimist.
through with the positives, like from beginning to end. We won't spoil anything huge.
I will say that, like the first one, the action is still fine. It's set mainly in the daytime, and you can clearly see it. And yes, it is still better than Transformers. It is short. I guess John Boyega is kind of cool. I mean, he's really charismatic.
I, on the other hand, didn't come out of the movie disliking it. I came out of it liking it. It doesn't mean that I think it's great. And I think the core of that is that I do think John Boyega, as we've seen in Force Awakens, he can carry a film. The young girl character that we see, I do think that she's a very interesting character. She's, once again, dialogue, it is like a very B movie.
No, but you're right.
She
is good. She's better than the one last night.
But I think what they did do with the characters, my favorite chunk was that Act 1 when they were introducing them. Not because it was good character introduction, but it was just enough of what we needed to get into the film. And then another positive I will say is that Act 2 is the weakest part because they try to do a lot of different commentary that the first film did a lot better. They try to introduce a lot of different characters, killing certain people, reviving certain people, having certain people be possessed, having, like, and there were various twists and turns where you're either like, all right, I'm on board, or you kind of squint, but then you kind of move on. It's either way, you're presented with a twist of the film, and then you kind of just move on from there. Whether you thought it was a good twist or a bad twist, okay, you know what, fine. And then the ending, the thing is, the ending still got me. The stuff, some of the backstory with the girl, some of the backstory with John Boyega, stuff that happened by the time we got to the ending, and certain characters coming back to save other characters, and certain big moments, certain character deaths, it was enough for me to have felt a good amount of emotion. Enough emotion to say that I enjoyed the film, not so much as to say that it was a great movie. So, as far as I'm concerned, and I saw it with someone who is a very big Pacific Rim fan, probably more so than a lot of people, so if that is something that you'd consider yourself is a huge fan, you will probably enjoy this for what it does give you. However, as far as our critical opinion goes, let's kind of move on into that.
Overall, we both kind of enjoyed it, him more than me, but it is kind of a Kingsman 2-ish film where it's not as great as the first one at all. It's not a bad movie, it's just like disappointing. I would say it's a very disappointing movie, and my favorite character is just, wow, okay. Charlie Day is like here just like mentally doing weird stuff, physically doing weird stuff. I don't like how they did that. The action's fine, but the locations don't really make sense. But hey, after walking out of it, it didn't give me a headache like Transformers did. It just gave me like tiresome. I just became really tired.
Fatigued.
I got, fatigued.
I think the core of the problem with this movie, particularly because we've been mentioning Act 2 is the weakest part, but it does seem to go by quickly, which is a pro, I guess. But you never want your pro to be that the film is not as bad as it is. No. But I think the key is that in this film, you're sort of waiting for action to happen for a lot of Act 2, whereas when Pacific Rim starts off slowly and you hardly ever see any Jaeger fighting, it's because they're prepping things, they are preparing for battle, the world is already in an apocalypse, we are in media res, we are in the middle of the action, we're introducing these characters, what they did before, what they're doing now, whereas here, it's like, they're trying to do that slow build where there's not a lot of action at first, but it's sort of to this film's detriment because of the fact that you're having to wait for stuff. And then you get to the middle of the film where the big twist happens and you go, oh, alright, now we can kind of get going. And there is some very interesting commentary they try to utilize as far as like what we, without spoiling it, drones, like modern day issues, but they also kind of tie it into a humanity sucks story, like, oh, mankind, like, the problems in this are man-made. They're not like, with the, you know how in the first one it's more like colonialist, you know, they're clearly coded as being colonialist aliens. This is more so human beings are the root of their own problem, which is fine. I didn't think this was, obviously this wasn't the best humanity sucks story we could have gotten, but it was still there and it was still intriguing.
It doesn't have Dortoro's ingenuity, and it has a lot of a TV feel like Travis D. Knight does. Overall, it's fine. It is very...
That's a good point, TV.
It is very forgettable. I would give the first one Accept as a Gift. This one is a perfectly acceptable Redbox for me.
I would personally give, I'd give like, I'm in like A- full price territory for the first film. I give this one a B-, which is still a grade down. A B- and an Accept as a Gift. But if you're a Pacific Rim fan, you should definitely go see it in theaters. Like, as you can see, there's really not much we can say. If you're looking for some mindless action, you'll enjoy it. If you're also looking for some substance, this film's got a little bit of substance. Your average middle-of-the-road movie that was a little disappointing, but has its merits, you know? So, as usual, I know this review is short, but thank you guys so much for watching, and before you go see a movie, check in with us first. Thanks for watching. Bye.
What's your favorite ice cream? Because I have an ice cream personality test for you.
Oh, I like a cookie dough.